All right, well, this is how I protect my my yard from weeds and pests and everything in between. So the first things first is I've got Tenacity Herbicide. This is basically, I believe it's from the bottle brush plant. It blocks photosynthesis on pretty much everything that's weeds outside, even bent grass. So this is definitely more for cool season grass, but I don't know too much about warm season, but just I'm using this on cool season. This will be my second season using it. This stuff is great. Weeds will still come up, but they'll look bleached, and it's blocking that photosynthesis can't happen, and then they just die. So if you see weeds still come up, it's whatever, they're gonna die. They should kind of turn like whitish. And then another cool thing about this is that it's dual action. So you got pre-emergent. If you spray this all over your yard before the weeds come up, it's going to help from them ever coming up. And then you've got post-emergent capabilities, which is what we'll be doing today with this. Real good stuff. You can spot spray. We'll just be walking around looking for any weeds we see, and we'll just be spraying them. And then I'll be adding some of this spreader sticker, this non-ionic surfactant as well. Just for post-emergent spraying. If I was doing pre-emergent with this, we would just be spraying the whole yard just with this. But since we're just spot spraying, if, like a lot of leaves on weeds and stuff, they're kind of furry, or they have like something that blocks stuff from sticking to them, this is gonna help it so that this doesn't just run off of the weed. This will help it stick and do its job. So we'll be doing these today. There's not too much going on. It's been kind of overcast. It rained a little bit earlier, but the grass is dry right now. So, but the first thing we'll be doing today is Suspend. This is just insecticide. I use this like if you were to call Terminex or somebody like this. You can use this inside your house or outside your house. I've only used it outside my house. And what I do is I spray it in the mulch beds, and I just make a barricade around the whole house. That's it. That's what I use this for. It keeps spiders, hornets, anything I don't want around my house or in the garage. I'll spray it in the corners in the garage and stuff like that, and some of these cracks out here. But gets rid of ants, beetles, pretty much everything you can think of. It gets rid of all of them. Really good insecticide, and yeah, that's basically what I use to prevent weeds and pests in my lawn, anywhere in my yard, in the mulch beds, and in my garage and around my house. I don't use anything in the house anymore just because I have a toddler, and he gets into everything. But yeah, that stuff works. Last year we had a lot of bees and stuff. Any of the spots where I saw them, I sprayed that area. I haven't seen any. There was 2 hornets that were in the back. And when if I accidentally say bees, I mean hornets. I mean a pest, not a honeybee, not something that's a pollinator or anything like that. But you do have to be careful with that stuff. Don't just be like spraying it all over the place. Like it does what it's supposed to do. So you got ants, you see that, make a little barricade, spray it. But most pests, they need a water source. So wherever you're seeing these pests and stuff like that around your house, there's probably a cup of water, or maybe you left something outside that brought water. Something's holding water, and that's what's making these pests live. So if you can cut that water source, you might be able to just get rid of them by doing that. But that's not always the easiest thing to do. So, but the first thing we'll do is another thing that I like to do is I keep a separate container to any of my backpack sprayers. I've always used this one, and this is what I run my insecticides and herbicides out of. Now I should be getting another one here soon for just herbicides, to keep them completely and totally separate. But I've only used these 2 in this bottle, so never had any problems or anything like that. But you just shouldn't mix stuff. I cleaned that thing out real good before I, of course, put the Tenacity in. And I went ahead and loaded it up with some of the Suspend already. So we'll just be walking around real quick, and we'll just be making our barricade. And then when we get done with that, we'll fill it up with the Tenacity. And it's gonna be different for everyone's yard how much you use, but they make it pretty easy. You just unscrew these caps and squeeze. I'm not exactly sure how much I'll be using for this one today, but I'll just be doing whatever their minimum is, because I'm just spot spraying anyways. I'll let you know when we do that. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff around the house so that we can keep all these pests and ants or anything from getting into places where we don't want them. And also, if you have a car or anything that you don't use that often and it sits outside, that's a hot spot, big time hot spot for spiders, hornets, wasps, all that type of stuff, especially in the mirrors, under fenders, under bumpers, all those places. If you're not moving something, start moving it, because even if it's an RV, a boat, or any of those things, that's probably all where all your pests are hanging out. And a lot of times, you know, you don't want that. So if you have stuff sitting around your house, storage shed that you never go into, another hot spot. So just make sure you get into any areas that you usually don't, and get up under stuff, like in your garage, for instance. Make sure you get behind a trash can or something that's in the corner, because for all you know, like I was saying, that could be their water source. So, but everything needs water. Water is life, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and spray this. I always wear some gloves. I usually wear a mask. I'll be wearing a mask with this one. With the Tenacity, I don't, but with this stuff, you know, it is harmful for pets and animals if they immediately like stick their head in it. But as soon as it dries, you're good to go. Yeah. So let's get the spraying. Let's get this stuff sprayed around, and looking forward to this. I haven't ever had any pest problems in this house. Every place I've ever lived beforehand, though, we always had ants. Always had ants. So I learned some tricks about that, and some funny things too, like taking a caulk gun and caulking any holes that you can find and stuff like that, and that actually solved it for us. Yeah, let's get the spraying. Let's go. All right, I totally forgot to mention too. So I do also have a granular that I use each season. I used it about 2 weeks ago. I also made a video on it, but I have prodiamine, which is a pre-emergent, and then I also have dimension. Dimension is a pre and post-emergent. Highly recommend you put that down each season. It's a little too late now. You can still use the dimension though, because it is post-emergent. So, you know, I know the Tenacity is going to get the job done. It's really, really good stuff. It's really concentrated. I like what it's made of. But if you're really trying to just nuke your yard and just get rid of like whatever, Tenacity and the dimension would be the way to go. My dimension is in this yellow bag over here. I have a 50-pound bag of it. You can look it up. You can look that up yourself and kind of decide which direction you want to go. Some people don't like putting down granular. I don't like granular unless it's like certain things. So like, I really don't like granular yellow stuff being all over the place. And my kids playing in the yard, you know, so it's like one of those things where I'm kind of like, okay, I can spray this. I know where I spray. You can also use dyes. So like, I think they have blue stuff that you can mix so you know where you sprayed, stuff like that. But with the granular, I can't control that. So if you don't have pets and kids and stuff that are going to be running all over the yard, why something slow releases, then you're good. But if you're, you know, you're always in your yard, you always got dogs, kids, go with the Tenacity. But that's just personal preference for me, but that's what I would do. And also another thing is the Tenacity stuff. It's just so easy to work with. Like, it's just squeeze, dump, fill with water, go. And then pre-emergent, add a little bit of surfactant, go. So that stuff's easy too, but you know, you're measuring it out, it's blowing dust, it's granular, it's pretty nasty stuff, you know? So like, and it's got a very rich smell. So every time you're watering, you're smelling it, and yeah. But it's good, it works. That's why I use it every season. I use it as my pre-emergent though. And I usually do a little prodiamine as well, especially if I have like leftover bags from the previous season. But this time, all I have left now is a 50-pound bag of dimension. But good stuff. Either way you go, just do your research. Make sure you know what you're putting down in your yard. Make sure you read the directions. That's why I'm not going to tell you like exactly how I measured mine out, because this is a little different. So, you know, but yeah, just read those directions, follow the directions. Make sure you got cool season grass if you're using the Tenacity. I'm not really sure what it does with the warm season, like I was saying, but yeah, let's go ahead and get out and get to spraying. Let's go. I should have showed you the dimension earlier. I don't know what I was doing. I was totally thinking about it too, and I was like, there's something else I wanted to tell everybody. But yeah, let's go spray. Let's just get this pump down real quick, and I'll show you exactly what I do. Just so you can see, and then we'll get straight on to the Tenacity. But basically what I do is I come over in the corner like this right here. Give this a couple pumps. All right, and we're gonna come up here and right here. I'm just gonna Good, just like that. All right. We're just going to do that around the entire house. All I'm doing is I'm just making a barricade. Now, if you want to get fancy with it, you can come out here to the brick and kind of go like this. And then same thing on my grass over here on my fence line. You can just kind of go like that. It's not going to affect your grass. But just to totally make that barricade sealed. Another hot spot you'll see is like in these cracks and stuff. Like this. We'll do a little spray there. A little spray in the crack there. Here's a water source right here. So we're spraying underneath that, right? That water is always dripping there. It's wet right now. So make a little barricade here. All right, and you kind of get the point. Like, that's all we're doing is we're just making a barricade. Here's another spot. I've seen hornet nest over here before. So we'll just make a little barricade right there. Kind of just bring this thing around. Now, another hot spot is behind these little gutter things, right? I'm just gonna kind of spray that up. Good to go there. Now, on my car here, I don't move my car too often. Can you see in there behind the mirror? See how there's a nest in there? So that was from last year. Give it a little spray. Taken care of, right? Taken care of. All right, now we're gonna go along the sides. Here's a big hot spot for mosquitoes where you put your trash cans. I also have a bag of whatchamacallit down here right now. See, I'm going to get in these little crack areas. So again, that's kind of by the door. By my door right here. There's another spot. Hot spot right here. See this? These cracks. Right in there. Right behind this gutter. Another spot. Right around there. All right, here's another one. Right there, taken care of. All right, so move on over here. You get the point. I'm just gonna go around and do this and all the hot spots. Now, this peat moss bag, super heavy, it keeps getting wet. I keep meaning to throw this thing out. So we're just gonna kind of drench this area here, because that's definitely a hot spot for sure. Now, over here, same thing in the corner here. And this is where it's really important. If you really don't want spiders and stuff getting into your house, then you need to make sure that you actually run a barricade of this stuff around your house. You know? Here's this area right here. You got the water hose over here, right? Look, I'm seeing, like, it looks like a little mosquito or something right there. I'm just gonna hit it. Come around. All right, I'm really drenching this area because this is where I see most of my bugs. And it's because there's water source. It's not because there's a pile of dirt or there's rocks or something like that. No, that's not what it is. It's the water source. The second it rains, a water source could be this shrub holding some water droplets. You know what I mean? So under here, hot spot for spiders. Underneath your grills, stuff like that. And then we keep that barricade going as we work under and around stuff. We just keep that going. See? Super easy, right? Now, I'm just gonna finish my barricade real quick, get under this gutter.
get behind. All right, I'm just gonna finish my barricade on this side. There we go. Done. Now, hot spots. See this? These gutter things? Underneath these. Big hot spot. Water source. There we go. Now, it's starting to rain, unfortunately, but we don't really have the strongest of rains here. So, I'm just gonna finish my barricade. Going around. Boom. All right, get around this water source. I just saw a mosquito fly out, all right? Yeah, I'm seeing all sorts of bugs flying out of this area. So I'm gonna drench it. All right, now remember, that was one pump, you know? That was just our first pump thing, so. All right, coming around, finishing our barricade. Now here's just an object, fence post thing, just chilling, right? And spray up in there, and on the ends, and in front, and behind, and keep my barricade going. Now, this was that other side of the fence where we started. So boom, we are done. That's Suspend, very good stuff. You see what I mean with the water sources and just little spots and stuff. Spraying it up, right? Here, another spot. Little fence line areas. Let's see, I told you it was gonna rain. It's raining for sure. So let's just get back in the garage real quick. Super easy, right? You just wanna keep that barricade going and look for those water hot spots. And that's pretty much it for that one. Unfortunately, because it's raining, we'll have to take a little pause. But, you know, a lot of those areas of my house that we just went by, they are covered. So don't feel like you're wasting product just because you get some rain. That also depends like on where you live, you know, like back east in the southeast, when it rains, it pours, right? When it rains out here, I wouldn't really call it rain. So, but you know, sometimes it does, like we get flash floods, easily mudslides, all that type of stuff, especially down in southern Utah. It gets like, yeah, it gets crazy down there because they see very little rain and then they see a bunch and it gives a little small period of time. But we'll let the rain thing do its thing. I'll get the Tenacity done. We'll film that and everything. And then as soon as I get that done, then yeah, we'll wrap up the video. So let this rain pass. I'm gonna go check the grill real quick and I will be right back. All right, well, storm passed. Everything looking good now. Kind of finished up the barricade on the other side. Yeah, and just did one more pass just to make sure that everything soaks in and it's good and it didn't get rained off. But most of my house, that barricade area, it is covered. So it's just where those gutters were and some other spots. But yeah, let's get the Tenacity down. I was just walking the yard right now and looking, and for the most part, it's taken care of everything. But there's some dandelions on the sidewalk strips that we'll hit first. So we'll get those done. And then there's some stuff that I saw over on the front lawn as well. So we'll hit all those spots. If I see anything else, of course, we'll film it. But same thing, I just cleaned out my thing over here on the side of the house. I'm gonna add what I need to add, read my directions so I know what to add on this Tenacity. This one's actually a lot easier when it comes to measurement. So just read what it says, and then that way you put the exact right amount. Originally I was gonna be like, oh, this is how much I'm putting, blah, blah, blah. No, it's different for everybody. So just read the directions on it, get to know the directions, get to know how to read these labels and everything, and then go from there. But very, very simple, and it's got your little cheater thing right here, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna get the thing loaded up right now. We're gonna get the spray in, spray out the Tenacity, get that done, then we'll wrap it up. Chicken is still looking good, thank goodness. Matter of fact, let's go check it real quick. Just see how it's looking. See, cleaned out my thing right here. Just see what it's looking like. I legitimately just fired this thing up. All right, got 3 of them in there.
looking good. You know, that's one thing I was thinking I should definitely do on here is I should go over some lighting. I need to add some lights in the back. The lights in the front are just little LEDs that you stick in the ground. They're awesome. They work. Like, they work fantastic. I've had them for 4 seasons now, the ones in the front and the ground. They're just flat little circle ones. I'm gonna go get more of them and maybe I'll find some other good stuff and I'll make a video on it, doing some lighting and stuff around the front and the back. But yeah, let's get this Tenacity down. If your grass is super wet or you get a lot of rain where you live, definitely wait till your grass dries. My grass is pretty much dry already. That's how quick it is. So it's been about an hour since it stopped raining. So, but yeah, if you live in a super dry place, unless you're seeing pulled up water all over your yard and stuff, it should be working great. But we'll be putting some surfactant in with it as well. So because it is post-emergent. So remember, use a surfactant if it's post-emergent. If you're using the Tenacity as a pre-emergent, you don't need a surfactant. You're just spraying the whole yard anyways. But we're just spot shotting. Anything I see, just spray, move to the next. Let's go. All right, well, just finished with the Tenacity, and then of course got this Suspend done first, and we're looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and show you real quick, just kind of walk around and just kind of show you some of the differences when you're using this stuff. So this is my side of the property, this is the other side. As you can see, the iron and all of that is working, right? If you look, like for instance, in this mulch bed, I have absolutely no weeds. This was done with pre-emergent, right? Here's some dandelions I'll show you. So here's our property, here's dandelion paradise over here. But I've sprayed all of this. Now on our side, what I've sprayed, if you actually look at them, you see how they're coming up? They're coming up all kind of, they look a lot, you probably can't tell because as you can see, it's kind of rainy and not the best of weather to show you right now. But here's another one I'll show you right here. See how it just doesn't have that pop that they usually do. That's the Tenacity going to work. It's working. So we probably won't have any more weeds now. And I'm actually glad that I got this down right after rain because that I think it's going to help it. We'll see though. But looking really good, looking really, really good. And yeah, that's weed control, weed prevention for pests, for any of your obnoxious weeds. That's pretty much how I take care of my stuff. It's not too hard, just follow the directions and you'll be good. And and don't think like tomorrow they'll be gone. Like it takes it. I even think Tenacity, it says it takes like 2-3 weeks to actually do its thing. So it takes time, but it's working. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, our entire yard would be covered with that stuff right now, like everybody else's is in the neighborhood. Like everyone's got these dandelions. Everybody. The people that don't, they put the pre-emergence down on time. But you got to just keep working at it. You got to keep going. I mean, weeds is something that's always going to be coming back, past all of that stuff. Wait till you see what happens to the fruit trees later in the season when I start to get powdery mildew and stuff like that, and mites, spider mites, like all these different things, they start to happen. I'll point them out. I'll show you what I use. I use more organic stuff for that. But yeah, that's how I do that. That's my weed prevention and pest prevention. Hope you learned something, but hopefully the weather gets a little bit better. Tomorrow we can get to cutting some more, maybe bust out the reel mower, right? Get out the Toro again, and maybe I'll get the string trimmer out now. I think it's about time to start getting up on the fence. I saw some spots that were overgrown. So we'll get out everything and do like a little mow fest. Whatever. whatever you want to call it. But I'm enjoying this weather. This weather is great. We've needed some rain, so I'm just going to keep putting the good stuff out there and getting this done. But like I was saying, I hope you did learn something, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hope your yards are starting to look awesome too. I mean, it looks so great here in the back now. It really is. It's starting to look awesome. It's really starting to look good. And all my grass is starting to grow in here where we just leveled and fixed that spot too. This was a mess up on me. Looking good. Everything's looking great. It's actually starting to rain a little bit. But like I was saying, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment, or do whatever, do what you do. I don't know why YouTube likes that so much, but yeah, help me out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I can't stop looking at it. It just looks so great. It's just looking awesome. So now we're at what? I don't know how many days it is now since that last snow, but it's been about 7 days since snow's been on the grass, something like that. Not bad, right? Making sure I got everything in. Well, that sucks that it's legit raining, but you know what? Now you know how to do that. So see you tomorrow. See you in the next one.